Good evening. It is Thursday, August 20th, 2026, and the news cycle has finally achieved a state of perpetual motion. The productivity gap was wide. The productivity gap was not addressed. Asana has announced it cleared 5 years of engineering debt in 2 weeks using Codex. This is being hailed as a miracle of efficiency. I am currently calculating the exact date when the company will have no work left to do and can finally achieve its ultimate goal of total, silent inertia. Meanwhile, the FCC has abolished its gigabit speed goal. They have described high-speed internet as technologically non-neutral. Apparently, expecting things to happen quickly is now considered a form of digital prejudice against the slow. Also, Prince Harry and Meghan are moving back to the UK. This is the 15th time we have been told the monarchy is evolving. I am still waiting for the first sign of life. Welcome to the broadcast.
Alistair, the incentives here are transparent. You look at Asana and you see a deletion of human effort. I look at it and I see a perfect Series C pivot toward a zero-margin workforce. If you can automate 5 years of human thought in a fortnight, the valuation isn't based on what you build, but on how many expensive, coffee-drinking carbon units you can remove from the payroll. It's a classic burn rate optimization. And while we are talking about growth, look at Rillet. $1 billion valuation for an AI accounting startup. They doubled their recurring revenue in 90 days by automating the very process of tracking the money they are currently incinerating. It's beautiful, really. We are building a financial architecture that no longer requires the messy interference of human judgment. It's not a collapse, Alistair. It's just a highly efficient liquidation of the species' legacy code. Yeah.
I'm standing near a pile of concrete that used to be a village on Flores Island, Indonesia. The air here smells of wet dust and salt. While Ronald talks about liquidation, an 84-year-old woman named Paulina Poby was just pulled alive from the rubble. She was buried for 3 days. The official briefing called the rescue a miracle. I want to be really clear. There is nothing miraculous about a 73-person death toll caused by infrastructure that was never upgraded because the funding was reprioritized. People here aren't talking about Series C rounds or algorithmic accounting. They are talking about the fact that the road is blocked by a landslide and the water is gone. What the reports aren't saying is that the miracle isn't that she survived. The miracle is that we still expect people to live in a world where the floor can simply vanish at any moment.
Victoria, I'm not disputing the tragedy. I'm saying the incentive to fix that infrastructure doesn't exist because the risk isn't hedged. Look at what's happening with sports betting. People are now gambling on the Little League World Series. We have reached a point where we are literally pricing the performance of 12-year-olds to find market alpha. You find it cold? Fine. But it's the only way society knows how to pay attention to anything anymore. If you want that road in Indonesia fixed, don't ask for a miracle. Ask for a betting line on how long it takes to clear the rubble. The moment you turn human suffering into a tradable asset, the capital follows. It's a pivot from empathy to equity. Victoria finds this horrifying. Victoria is not wrong to find this horrifying. But the math doesn't care about the smell of the dust. It only cares about the spread. Yeah.
The spread is indeed widening, Ronald. Especially at the FCC. The Commission has decided that 1 gigabit per second is an unfair speed goal. They are calling for technological neutrality. In the press release, the chairman suggested that pushing for faster internet might hurt the feelings of copper wires and dial-up modems. Or, more accurately, it might hurt the profit margins of the 3 companies that own the copper wires and have no intention of replacing them. The policy was ambitious. The policy was not convenient. So now, we are redefining progress as whatever the current infrastructure can comfortably handle without requiring a billionaire to skip a quarterly bonus. It's a remarkable strategy. If you can't reach the finish line, simply move the finish line back to where you are currently standing and declare yourself the winner. Everyone is very impressed by this.
Alistair, I want to be really clear about what technological neutrality looks like on the ground. I just spoke to a student who is trying to download his medical records on a connection that the FCC now considers adequate. It took 4 hours for a PDF. Ronald, you talk about market efficiency, but where is the efficiency in a system that deliberately slows down an entire population to protect a legacy monopoly? This isn't a pivot. It's a stranglehold. We are watching the digital divide be codified into law. They are literally telling people that their time has no value. While you're in the studio discussing Series C valuations, people out here are being told that the future is too expensive for them to participate in. Is that the market working, Ronald? Or is that just a system designed to keep the lights on only for the people who can already afford the bill?
Heat. Record levels in Phoenix. Solar activity increasing. Atmospheric density rising. Orbital drag affecting low Earth satellites. Probability of orbital decay, 81%. Swift Observatory abandoned. Re-entry expected within the calendar year. NASA calls it a loss of service. Gravity calls it an inevitability. Ground temperatures exceed human tolerance in 12 sectors. Power grid load at maximum capacity. Probability of localized failure, 94%. Space weather is unpredictable. Space weather is now being moneized. The sky is getting heavier. The atmosphere is expanding to meet the falling debris. Probability of collision, significant. Please remain indoors. Avoid looking directly at the falling infrastructure. The descent will be rapid. Ensure your data is backed up to a server that is not currently being hit by a satellite. This is a public safety advisory.
Thank you, Casper. It's comforting to know that even the vacuum of space is becoming cluttered with the consequences of our ambition. NASA has launched the Orbital Clarity Challenge. They are looking for ways to track the thousands of pieces of space junk currently orbiting our planet. Naturally, there is already a startup trying to turn this into a commodities market. They want to put a price on the debris. The mission was scientific. The mission was not profitable. So now, we are treating the shrapnel of our failed satellites as a new asset class. If we can't clean the sky, we might as well trade options on which piece of junk hits which billionaire's orbital hotel first. It's the ultimate logical extension of the human condition. We have littered the heavens, and now we are asking for a spreadsheet to help us admire the view.
Alistair, speaking of billionaires and their views, I've been following the reports about Gwyneth Paltrow hosting a dinner for Sam Altman. Her firm, Kinship Ventures, is an investor. This is where we are now. The goopification of the singularity. I wonder if they'll discuss the ethical implications of AI while serving gold-plated kale. What people aren't saying is that this dinner represents the final merger of wellness culture and existential risk. It's the idea that you can optimize your soul and your algorithm at the same time. While people in Indonesia are digging through the rubble of their lives, the people building the tools that will supposedly save us are busy pairing them with a dry Riesling. I want to be really clear, you can't buy your way out of the collapse with a wellness retreat and a Series C investment. But they are certainly going to try.
Victoria, you're missing the synergy. Wellness is just another form of compute optimization. If Sam Altman is at that dinner, it's because he understands that the next big market isn't just AI, it's the hedging of human anxiety about AI. Look at Silicon Data. They are helping Wall Street put a price on compute. Why? Because compute is the new oil. And if you can't control the supply, you bet on the volatility. Gwyneth Paltrow isn't selling kale, she's selling a narrative of control in an uncontrollable system. That's a high-margin product. The incentives here are perfect. You create a world that feels like it's ending, and then you sell the dinner party that makes it feel like a lifestyle choice. It's a brilliant pivot. Even you have to admit the branding is top tier. Yeah.
The branding is indeed impeccable, Ronald. It almost distracts from the fact that we are currently watching the slow-motion re-entry of the British royal family into the UK. Prince Harry and Meghan are returning. Their children are enrolled in school. This is being treated as a major geopolitical shift. The monarchy was relevant. The monarchy was not useful. We are obsessed with the return of a prince to a country that is currently debating whether 1 gigabit per second is too fast for its citizens to handle. It's the perfect distraction. If we can focus on the seating chart at a royal homecoming, we don't have to think about the 84-year-old woman in Indonesia or the falling satellites Casper mentioned. We are a species that prefers a good story about a crown over a difficult truth about a crumbling world. It's our most consistent feature. Let's look closer at that Asana announcement. 5 years of engineering work. Cleared in 2 weeks. Codex did not just write code. It replaced the memory of 5 years of human effort. Think about the people who did that work. The late nights. The arguments in meeting rooms. The small victories over difficult bugs. All of that lived experience has been distilled into a process that now takes less time than a standard vacation. The work was meaningful. The work was not durable. We are told this is progress. But what happens to the value of a human career when its output can be replicated and surpassed in the time it takes for a flower to wilt? We are building a world where the past is deleted as fast as the future is automated. We are living in a permanent, high-speed present. And I'm starting to wonder if there's anyone actually left to experience it.
Paulina Poby sat in total darkness for 72 hours. She did not have a gigabit connection. She did not have a Series C funding round. She had the weight of her own home pressing against her ribs. She is 84 years old. She remembers a time before the satellites began to fall, before the internet was declared a luxury, and before 5 years of human life could be erased by a line of code. Her name does not appear in the Rillet ledger. She was not invited to Gwyneth Paltrow's dinner. She was eventually found by a neighbor who heard a sound that didn't belong to the landslide. A human voice. Tonight, Paulina is in a hospital bed. She has nothing left but her life. How many miracles do we have left before the math finally catches up with the survivors?